I got a lot of questions from people who say, where should I start? You know, what's the right level for me? Where should I put my focus? Because I don't know, I don't want to take on something that's too hard or too easy. And that's, of course, important that you want to spend your time being comfortably challenged, right? Depending on your temperament, basically, you want to have challenges that you really feel that you can overcome and you can, charge at and have fun getting results with. But so what is that? But most people think that we have to we have to get lessons that are just right. But you don't need that. When I started out, I had my basic, I went to a guitar teacher when I was 10, and I went for that, a couple of years. I went every week, I think, and then I got the basic skills of the chords and some classical stuff and, first position blues scale shape. And I started using that, but then from there, I was basically self-taught. And what I did was I just took whatever, I just saw, the hardest things you could try and play. And I took them in and I said, okay, how will I go about this? And I simply just, instead of getting overwhelmed and say, oh, this is so, I chopped it up. And that's what you need to do. That's the main strategy. You need to take any challenge and then say, how can I diminish that so it fits my level completely? And let's just take an example. Let's say you have like a sequence like that I showed you in an earlier video. Like something like that, and it's just like, whoa, stop, right? But let's say that's actually what you want to achieve. You want to play that sequence. Well, it starts with 3 notes on 1 string. Let's start there, right? You can say, right? Then you go, and then you can build that on. And then you can move it back from 2 different positions. And go back like that. You don't go through all positions, all strings, to all kinds of things with it. You try to chop it up into a simple enough challenge. Let's say that you're confronted with the 7 3-note per string diatonic shapes, like minor, major shape. And it seems like a huge amount, right? It seems like impossible. But then just focus on one. You take one and you play through that for 1 week. All that you do in that shape only. You create a rule for yourself where you say, okay, I'm going to start every practice session. Every time I pick up my guitar, I'm going to play that. I'm going to play that shape. And then you practice it for a bit, and then you play some other stuff, and you practice techniques. For instance, you practice legato or hammer-ons and pull-offs, but you do it within that shape. So you focus on it until it just becomes home. That's just home, man. You just know that shape so well that you can see it on the fretboard. And so chopping something up. How do you eat an elephant? Well, 1 bite at a time, right? I once saw, Guinness Book of Records, the guy who ate a bicycle. That's probably, that's probably a guy who ate a car, right? Because he's just chopping it up into little pieces and then swallowing that one by one. You can do the most incredible things if you chop things up, but don't get scared. That's what some people do. Because the cool thing about chopping things up like this is that you can have that thing, instead of when people come and ask you, so what are you working on? Itsy bitsy spider, right? That's what I'm working on, right? It has never been inspiring to me. So let's take this level where we can do this and then practice these, deadbeat songs because those only have 2 chords, right? Instead, just aim for the stars right away and then chop it up. In the beginning, it's good to take, favorite band and then just, take the simple songs, right? But you want to keep a lid on that for when you get to the point where you really want to expand, because it's a totally different feeling to build a castle, right? Instead of building a little hut, right? And if you're building a castle, that's like taking on a sequence or a lick that's just bam, baby, and then you chop it up. Then you'll be working on, that's your project. When I look at you and say, what are you doing? Well, I'm learning this amazing thing, right? Instead of, well, I'm on this beginning intermediate level, and I'm trying to figure out how to do it right. It just doesn't add up. Not in my psychology anyway. I want to do something magnificent because this is a magnificent instrument. So aim high and then chop things up for yourself and be a really good teacher to yourself by doing that.